Let's do it.
Let's do it. Hello, everybody. The first thing they get to hear is Rachel going, "Let's do it."
That's what everybody wants to hear.
Give the people what they want.
So, hello. Welcome to Spire for the day. We're gonna just jump in with, the same thing we've jumped in with. I don't think I put it on the player screen this time, but it's on the stream. Hey, it sucks that we're still asking for justice for Breonna Taylor. Don't forget that is still a thing, as well as all of the other terrible things that are happening. Just a few things to call your attention to, like California and Colorado and Oregon are on fire. And there's apparently some really shitty stuff on TikTok today that I hope you didn't encounter because it's terrible and triggering. So, just protect yourselves and get extra sleep and set good boundaries and don't look at TikTok. Let's keep carrying momentum forward with Black Lives Matter stuff, with efforts to support content creators who are minority, and whatever else we can do in our little corner of the world. Use ! Discord. Nope. Well, you can use that too, but ! BLM ! Donate to find out more information from our Discord or from our Twitch channel about that. And we're gonna go ahead and get into the game. So I need your stress levels. We'll go ahead and say, how about your in-game stress levels? If you feel like sharing your out-of-game stress levels, you're as always welcome to do that too. I have a pen.
Elise, what is the weather like in Spire today?
It's an inside city.
Enclosed. Right.
So
it's
where most of you are at
every day.
Not much. It's dingy, intentionally, because sunlight burns you. And others of you are exposed out in, well, less exposed now. And I think Hennis on his way to Amaranth is about to be cold, because Amaranth is cold. So that's what the weather's like. Thanks for asking.
Well, how am I up top? What's the temperature in New Heaven with all the goats? Like, does the goats make it balmy, or?
Well, it's pretty high altitude up there, so it also, you get and like the wind is really strong, so you get a lot of chill up at the top. But you also have direct sunlight, unlike pretty much anywhere else in Spire. So I feel like, what's the weather? I need to just lean into a Night Vale thing and just play a wacky song for you next time you ask that. Like, what's the weather? Click.
How are Nella, Casnai, TT, Lorm, Lena, Steve, Bunkle, Rico, Janice, and Eleanor, and a Lillian Autumn Breath all together as a group?
As a group, I'm like a 1 to 10 average. They're doing about a 5.
Oh no!
Oh, that's average. Everybody
that's just average.
But see, here's the thing.
A great day.
What you need to know is how high the standard deviation is. Because either people are having hella good days and hella bad days, or everyone's just having an average day.
How are the Steves doing? That's what really matters here.
The Steves are averaging around a 4 today.
Oh, damn.
They're bringing the group average down.
Steve.
It's this stupid sexist parents.
Yeah,
Mom.
It's hard to
don't give a shit about their son.
All right.
I'll have to get him a present on the way back down.
Kelvy, what is your stress level, and also what is our count for rolling for this stuff?
They're both of 3.
3. Okay.
So 3 stress, and we're adding 3 to our roll.
Great. Well, it's rolling. It's thinking about rolling. All right, 6. You're safe. Well, 9. You're safe.
Yay.
Okay.
You're not a bug person.
Okay, and
remind me,
of one. Where are your 3 stress?
They're to blood.
Okay, all to blood right now. Okay. I'm don't know what happened to the pen that I normally use to take notes, which I like significantly better than this one, and it's just not here. I'm sad. Okay. Thank you, Tyler. Rachel, where's Barnabas at?
Barnabas is at a 1 in mind stress.
Great. Rick
is at total stress of 2, 1 to mind and 1 to silver.
Great. And Andrew, where's Hennis at?
He's at a 1, all to silver.
Okay. And Minrai.
Some water. 0.
0. Okay. Great. Any other housekeeping things? Should we do a quick recap where are we all at? I know not a whole lot happened last session.
I have 1 page of notes.
Yes, because we did a lot of meta talk, which I really appreciate you guys helping me. Get those ideas solidified for this kind of last arc to our first arc. So.
And then we had side vignettes.
Side vignettes? Oh yeah, you did get the side vignettes, yes.
I wrote, librarian's dad is guy we saw floating in tube.
Yep.
Tube.
I write quick notes, okay? And Farquaad kills merrily. And all of the Harmonious Properties people that were there?
Unclear at this point.
Question mark? We met some goats, or we saw some goats. And Minrai is very much out of her element, but impresses all of the Carrion priests that are there anyway. And
how did I impress him?
Being you?
Oh, yeah. I'm down with that.
You showed them the strength of the midwives.
Oh, yeah. I remember now. I'm here for it.
Yeah. And then I wrote, Hennis tells Gray he'll keep looking. Heads up Spire to Hellion.
That was definitely a lie, but yeah.
What?
That was definitely a lie, but yeah. He didn't say that.
Rick tries to find Herald Corporation, sees Drow. He did the whole, you can probably explain your own thing a little better, where you did a thing and then you got a thing and then stuff happened.
I did a blessing and that relieved some stress for me. So
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
And then Kelvy had some fuck happen at the end of it. It was a whole lot of shit.
Yeah. Tried to write it down.
Exasperated. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna be.
He's permanently weird. He's permanently weird now.
Yep.
So. Elise, you're muted.
Hey.
Oh.
Here I am. Okay, yes, and anything else from last session or any of the earlier sessions we want to put into the recap before we jump into tonight?
I think it's important to note that the reason that I was offering the blessing was because a whole bunch of people were scared shitless because of seeing Farquaad covered in blood marching through the streets of the garden.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the goat butler?
What?
That when he asked for a drink, a goat came in with a little tray with whiskey on top of its head. Important stuff here. Okay, what's in my notes?
Well, if it's also, in your notes.
It's in my notes. And Sweet Pea went off. I think someone mentioned in chat.
I let Sweet Pea go off and do some goat frolicking. Mm-hmm. Sweet Pea kind of looked at me and was like, eh? And I was like, all right, go. So that happened.
Yeah. That was it. Just the fine.
Elise looks so nonplussed.
I'm just listening. It's nice
She's
to hear your voices and
all
see
the
your
moments
faces. That's all.
That led her to this moment.
I'm thinking back. Where did I go wrong in March or April? How did it turn into goat butlers? Actually,
I literally have
I
a
really
whole
love the
paragraph
goat
about
lovers.
goats integrating into the economy.
To the environment. Yes, the economy. You made up some things about how the goats were gonna like take over, and okay, but
That's canon.
anyway, okay. Let's start with Rick. You are on your way to Harmonious Properties or to the other one, Herald Corporation.
If I recall correctly, I was still trying to get to the Herald Corporation.
Yeah. So the way that you have been to Harmonious Properties before, right? No, this is your
No.
okay.
I don't think
I think you were with me the first time we went, weren't you?
Hennis was.
Well, because I was
Hennis
with you
was when we
very
went
first.
back.
I was with you the first
Yeah.
time. It was just me.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
right.
it was when you took the man with the goat. Nope, the man with the
Right,
gun.
right.
Man
with the goat.
Man with a goat. We
Can
need
we
that
change
to
it?
yeah.
I need someone to come in with a goat.
With a goat.
I've got goat on the brain. Kelby can just call a man with a goat at any time, and it's riding on his back.
Nobody would be mad.
Wait, is the goat riding on the back of the man or the other way around?
Who
Well,
knows?
the goats have
Dealer's
guns,
choice. I don't know.
so the goats can use guns.
Oh,
It's
right. One of
canon.
the
They
types
can
of
use
goats have
tools.
thumbs.
Yeah.
One of the types.
So
Use
just saying.
tools. I think it's the ones that we put into New Heaven.
Yeah, I think so.
I like
That's
to
very
think that
fair.
they got
Goat
there by
ridiculous.
climbing up
After
the
the
side of Spire,
Well,
slowly
right.
over generations until
Just
they
over
just-
generation.
Yeah.
After the show last week in the Discord, we all just decided which type of goat we were from Spire too. So
Yeah.
This is good.
It was great.
it was good times.
I have not
Yeah,
been-
so I was heading to Harmonious Properties. Sorry, the Herald Corporation. I do not think I've been to either of these places before.
Okay. So the way that you are walking, the directions that you were given when you kind of asked, like, how do you get there? And the person who gave you directions, you as you are going, let me look, reveal to the world your character sheet for a second here. Okay, roll a d10. It's not going to have any consequences around stress or anything, but
Yeah. Boop. There we go. Did it do it?
I don't. There it
we
goes.
go.
Okay. Yeah. So you are walking, and you've kind of got the image of all these people who need your help, and like you're and you walk down the street, and you're kind of following. They said, like, go this many blocks this way, that many blocks that way, and you start realizing like you're almost there and you've got to pay more attention. You come out of it, you start scanning buildings, and eventually you come across there's a big sign kind of above the door that has like their logo, which is it's like kind of carved into wood, and it's a big bread bun, and it says Herald across the middle of it, and so you have found the Herald Corporation.
Okay. At this point, am I seeing any like noticeable signs that shit has gone down?
You take a minute
Not that I would know to look for them, but is that something that's there?
Well, so you take a minute to look around, and what you do notice is like I'll give you this much without an investigate check, and if you want to do an investigate before you go in, you could get more, right? What you do notice is that the streets are empty in a very noticeable way. It's kind of eerie how nobody is around right here. And that kind of sets your spine to shiver a little.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother investigating until I've gone through the threshold.
Okay.
So Yeah, I guess that's what I tried to do. Are the doors to Harmonious Property still open?
Yeah, so you walk up, you try the doors, and yes, they swing open. And you can go inside.
Yeah, I head inside. I recall there being a front desk of sorts, so
Yes.
if there's anyone still there, I'm gonna make my way over to a front desk.
So there is a front desk. You don't see anyone on it or at it. So there's kind of it's kind of like a long, narrow room, with the front desk kind of directly in front of a hallway leading back. And there are some areas where you could like sit or have a cup of tea or water or whatever if you are waiting for a meeting, out in the front. But to get to the rest of the building, you kind of have to go around this desk, typically invited back by the receptionist.
So I would first want to peer at the desk. Is there like a bell I can ring?
Yeah, so you go up to the desk to look for like a bell to ring or something, and as you do, very noticeably as you get closer and can start seeing over the desk, there is a drow person who has slumped out of their chair, dead on the floor behind the desk. Um,
That feels right.
Interesting definition of right.
I offer like the sort of responsorial, oh shit, Limier, like rest in peace, you know. Jeez. Oh, okay. Is there like anything like on the desk itself that like might, like, I mean, blood spatter, like I don't know, like that might have, I mean, I see that they're dead. Do I know why they're dead?
You can roll investigate if you would like to find out. You can use crime or low society as your domain for this.
All right, well, I have low society, so, and I have investigate.
Great, then 3d10.
Hey,
Okay.
9.
9. Nice. Yeah, so you take a minute, you kind of come around the desk and look. It looks like they were seated when they were killed, is what, from the way that they're kind of like slumped out of their chair, is your best guess. And it looks like they were stabbed in the back. It's pretty straightforward stab wound to the back. There is no blade left, but you can find a clear blow that has bled profusely from their back.
Oof. Do they have a mask still on?
They do.
I pocket it.
Okay.
And am I able to kind of recognize what stylization this mask is?
This is a kind of bland, generic. Down here, people don't typically wear masks all the time, but because Faisal was here today, the attendants of the Herald Corporation were wearing masks, and they keep, much like anywhere higher pretty much than Derelictus in Spire, keeps masks on hands for their employees, for visitors to kind of don. So this is it has like the bread logo up at the top and is otherwise a very generic, just kind of like covers the face, pleasant looking, like docile servanthood mask.
Okay. And how like large is the structure that comprises the Herald Corporation?
From what you can tell, kind of looking around, it looks like the hallway that goes back goes fairly far. And it is a part of like almost like a strip mall, kind of like that. You could kind of guess from having been in similar types of places in the span of your life that this is like a medium to large, medium size kind of office complex, which remember for Spire is not necessarily the same as like an American medium, right? And so this is like, you know, in a strip mall, like something, you know, maybe like a pharmacy size, right? Offices and a conference room.
It's not necessarily multiple stories tall.
That you can tell, no. There might be stairs in the back somewhere, but you don't see a very obvious like upstairs to the conference rooms or something.
Okay. Well, obviously due to the fact that I've just found a person that was stabbed in the back, I'm going to be watching mine, and I'm going to try my best to, you know, get around unnoticed, and while also looking for signs of maybe there's survivors or something that might be able to I might be able to get some information off of / help them in some way.
Okay. Yeah, so you step past the threshold, and I think this should be a new investigation check. The previous one having been specifically about how the person died. So go ahead and roll investigate low society again. Okay. So that is a failure. I'm gonna say a D3 of mind stress will be 3. So that puts your current stress up to 6.
Yeah.
Or no, I have 5, right? Because you had 2 and now that was adding 3, so we're at 5. Okay.
Yep.
So I'll roll for Fallout. It has to be a 4 or lower for you to take Fallout from this. It's a 9, so you're fine. So I think you intend to go in and start kind of looking around for survivors, for these kinds of things, and what you discover upon kind of getting past this person is that this area looks like, besides that person at the desk, people were trying to flee this way and were caught, and you are immediately caught by a presence of dead bodies. And it jars you, it startles you, right? It's a lot to just kind of suddenly see, like, you know, even with your failed investigation, like, it's not hard to put together the pieces of, like, people were running this way and were stopped by something, probably, you know, and it's too much. It's too kind of horrifying to be confronted by this, like, pile, essentially, of people who looked like they were just trying to get out of the building. And
do they all appear to be drow?
They all have these same Herald Corporation masks on, and you take a few more of the masks off, and the ones that you take off, all drow, yes.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that, like, I mean, you know, I've seen some shit, but I think you're right. I think seeing all these, you know, dead bodies, like, I'm not seeing Kelvy yet. I haven't.
No, and I think maybe if you want to play it that way, that part of the mind stress comes from, like, this immediate feeling of, like, oh my god, my friend was here, and, like, you become preoccupied, abandoning some of your other investigative purposes, looking for Kelvy. No sign of Kelvy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Rick would exactly know what to do in this moment, but I think he you know, does a more grandiose iteration of the blessing he did for the one person, because he realizes he's not going to go and do it to the horde of dead drow here, but I think he realizes that if he stays here much longer without at least one other person, then he might be subject to a similar fate. and yeah, I guess I try to leave, and I don't know if Rick's impulse would then be to go to Harmonious Properties, being that I've not been there before and I've just like witnessed a very traumatic thing. But
Yeah, that's a lot.
yeah. Um I think Rick would like just give like one quick shout out, like a kind of like a not a yell, but something that is meant to be like just heard within the local vicinity, just to see if anyone's still alive. Um is anyone still alive here? I'm a priest, I can help.
There's no response.
Okay. I leave the Herald Corporation and try to be unnoticed.
Okay. Do you like rolling a stealth check, or I mean, what is it called in this world? I think it's sneak.
Sneak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't have sneak, but I do have low society.
Yep. So 2d10 on this. Okay, a 9.
Okay.
So full success. Yeah, so you sneak out and kind of try to leave no trace behind you that you were there, and otherwise kind of make your way unseen. At first not hard given the kind of eerie lack of anybody around. And you know, I think it's not hard for Rick to kind of piece together that you know, the people walking bloodied from earlier that you heard about from these people that you comforted last session, and this kind of bloodbath here and the kind of eerie silence and stuff. Like when whoever did this left, they were unworried about being hidden in their kind of bloodiness, and people are hiding because they're scared. And so you kind of sneak your way along. You're going slow. Are you retracing your steps back towards the
Vermisian.
Mm-hmm.
You know, on second thought, because I specifically did not see Kelvy, like I would probably try to make a you know, as quick of a journey as I could towards Harmonious Properties, just hoping I see someone there, like whether or not it's Kelvy, but to try to get a sense of what went down.
Yeah. Do we have would Rick know where Harmonious Properties is?
I feel like that's something that would have been discussed like in our downtime in the apartment, like, oh hey, look, I own this place now. Like, oh, where's
Yeah, I was
the
gonna
place?
say, especially after Kelby owned a place, I feel like he'd give directions in case anybody wanted to.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
you make your way. You start kind of, you remember the address, the street name, things like that. And as you're kind of thinking about that, it dawns on you that actually like one of the streets you passed was that street name. And so you're able to kind of zero in on that pretty easily, which was what that luck roll earlier was, whether you would notice that passing it or if not or not.
Oh, okay.
And so because I was going to say like, oh, it comes to mind that you're actually passing right by where Harmonious Properties is. So you remember the street number and you're kind of like, okay, it's you know, you triangulate pretty easily and make your way over to Harmonious Properties. And Kelvy, you want to give us some insight into what Rick might find entering into Harmonious Properties?
Sure. So entering, everything is overturned. It probably was once a very clean office, and there's a single light from one of the office spaces in the back, and you can hear muttering and the occasional click of a typewriter going.
Kelvy, are you here?
Nothing.
I very, very slowly like inch my way through like where the front. I see there's like a front desk. I don't see a door to get past the front desk.
Oh no, it's open. You can see down this hallway.
Okay, yeah. I don't see my token.
Yeah, let's see where we can grab your token from here. Get it over. This one. There you go.
Oh no, wait. This was
Oh.
This was Nez's office. I would be in Nez's office.
All right. So everything's overturned. I begin, walking down the hall, just peering into the rooms, searching for the source of the mysterious clicking noise. And yeah, I mean, is Kelvy specifically like hiding himself?
Kelvy is not exactly hiding himself, but is also not exactly in the best mental state. Sitting
One might
at
say.
the desk. Sitting at the desk, typing. You can see him in plain view. And if you look close enough, you can see that he's popped quite a few blood vessels in his eyes. Like, he is not looking great. Yeah, just might have coughed up a little blood here and there.
I think it's safe to say that Rick like immediately runs over to you. And like I start like I grab you by the shoulders, like I look you down, I like give you a quick hug, and oh my God, Kelvy, I I thought you were dead. I saw the mayhem that was the Herald Corporation. What's fucking left of it? How did you get out?
You want to fill me in on what happened?
Just so many bodies, so much blood. I couldn't even really give you a number, but there was a lot of drow that would, well, they met Limier's light today, I guess. But I'm so I'm so glad you're still here. Can I get you something?
Why don't you
I just start reaching into my pockets, going through all of my medical supplies, because like I can tell you're not doing super hot.
No, yeah. Do you got any Malak?
Yes, and then I like grab my largest supply bottle of Malak that I've got, and it's yours. Take your time.
You can also
Rick, sorry, you go.
Okay, sorry. No, we've got some lag going on too, so I wasn't sure. I was gonna say you can also roll fix if you want to see if like with your medical expertise if there was anything to kind of be done for Calvi to help him. You could
I
use fix to help
absolutely
that.
would do that.
Okay. So it would be fix and low society.
Fix and low society. Immediately after that, like I'm probably also going to use my once per session roll of respite. But I'll do this first because I don't know how long we're gonna be here, and if that's wise.
Mhm.
All right, so that's
Sure.
3d10. Well, I have, let's see, I have both fix and I have low society. Okay, so 3d10.
I remember that Marguerite's there too. That she offered help with this stuff, right?
Yeah, Marguerite is in Derelictus, so you could you could go there next if you wanted. So a 6 is a success at a cost. So you do take stress. And I'm just going to go ahead and say just mark 1 stress. Probably, I think to mind makes the most sense. I think that this is, as you kind of are helping Calvi, like it's reminiscent of you're kind of, he does have, I think you have 3 marked against blood, right, Kelvy? So you are finding, like wounds and this was and that was from the failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And do you want to? I guess it's up to you. How did the physical harm come to Kelvy in that resist? Was it I'm fine with you playing it either way, of it was like so much mind trauma that Kelvy injured himself, if we want to do that, or that like this literally like did something to you and caused internal damage or something along those lines.
I was honestly thinking a combo. It probably started with the internal damage, and then there was a bit of, like, you can see a lot of things being thrown around. A lot of my fingers look jammed. Like, just, I look fucked up. Yeah.
So with that success, you can take 1 blood stress away, Kelvy, from the fixed roll from Rick. And yeah, it's just disturbing to see your friend so like unwell. And so you kind of take the time to kind of wrap up some of his hand, the damage done to his hands, and you managed to, I think, get him to settle a little through these ministrations, less shaking maybe from Kelvy, as you kind of just go through the motions of, caring for your friend.
Kelvy, before we kind of get into whatever the fuck just happened, I think it's important to bring up, is this the safest place for us to be right now, given?
Oh yeah, it's fine. No one's good. We're fine.
Kelvy.
Do I believe this? Like, there's no insight check.
Yeah. I think it's up to Tyler, if you want to say, like, if you want to, like,
Kelby's being earnest because as far as Kelby knows, everyone is dead from Harmonious Properties, from what you just said, and Faisal probably fucked back off to Amaranth. So
Yeah.
Probably safe.
Okay. Do you think it'd be wise to try to communicate with some of our party? Because
yeah, that'd be good. Listen, something happened. Clearly, so long story short, I threatened to blackmail Faisal. He took it. He took it. Not great, but also well, depending on how you view, how blackmail, how it works.
He's a perplexed person.
And yeah. So I asked that he, dealt with Marilee. Because Neza Day, she murdered Neza in front of me. So I said, you got to shut down the project and you got to deal with Marilee Erston. And well, from what you said, he dealt with her and
he dealt with
everybody
more
else.
than just
So
Marilee, it seems.
Listen, there's another thing that I gotta take care of regarding Faisal. Mr. Moonlight's gonna have to meet him tonight for fucking him over. So I got one last play to make, and I might see the other side of it, but chances are I probably won't.
Well, you do realize that I'm absolutely going with you.
No, you're not. Do you want to know what the game plan is?
I mean, absolutely, but
Because I'd like this to be.
He would be expecting me there first and foremost. Second of all, like fucking hell, I'm letting you go alone again when, by all rights, there's nothing preventing you from having been one of those dead back in Harmonious Property or the Herald Corporation.
Yeah. There's a scathing article that saved my life back there, I guess you could say. But as to the game plan going forward, I'm guessing that Faisal wants to, get to meet Mr. Moonlight again because he'd like to put a bullet in Mr. Moonlight's head, given that Mr. Moonlight was my source for this article that I wrote. So with that, using that information, we're going to show up, and at a point, I am probably going to take off the mask, tell him that I killed Mr. Moonlight for him, and disposed of the body. No one knows. And well, I would have been fooling him the whole encounter up to that point, meaning that, I could continue being Mr. Moonlight. He already views me as a potential asset. I think that it's possible he might view me as more valuable. Now, there's the other side of the coin there where he might get a little pissed because, a drow's wearing high elf true mask and whatnot, which is, punishable by death. So yeah, it really depends on his mood. He goes through those mood swings, as we saw. I was thinking, we could say, because we're not gonna have the body, that Mr. Moonlight was a drow, right? So it was the drow that duped him. So there's a little bit of truth, in the telling of it, but
Right. I think it goes without saying that I've got a lot of bad feelings about this one.
I do too, but it's either, go in guns blazing and we kill him, and then that's going to cause a whole nother, mess of problems. Or, we can try and put him in our back pocket for later. Because it's not going to do me any good if I walk in there as Moonlight. He puts a bullet in my head, takes off my mask, and goes, "Oh, well, that's Kelvy." Or this vast conspiracy gets, bigger. So that's the best I got right now. But I need Moonlight to meet him sooner rather than later, because the longer I take, Faisal informed me that the clock is ticking on my life. So yeah.
I mean, you have. I feel like just throwing this out there. Maybe you donning Mr. Moonlight's mask isn't the wisest thing. Maybe you bring it as a sign of, and I pulled this from his corpse or whatever. So that way you're not implicated in wearing the mask of a high elf, because I imagine any leverage over you he would like to use.
That's yeah, it's probably the better play.
I still cannot help but feeling like you going at this alone without any backup is the wisest play here. Especially when, I mean, the stories that I heard of him just traipsing through the streets of the garden with just blood all over. I feel like you show your face or his face, it's not going to end well. I don't even want to think about what his estate looks like right now.
Rick, you know what I did, for my Durance, right? We've been over this. I killed a lot of people. I can take care of myself.
Minrai says no.
Worst comes to worst.
Wait. Sorry, what was that, Elise?
I said Minrai says no because Ava was sitting there going.
I mean, I don't doubt your proficiencies with weapons, but I feel like if you're presented with the option of having support, it wouldn't be wise to not go without it.
I agree. My only worry is that
sentence.
I just worry that if he wants to clean house, he's gonna clean house with whoever I'm with. So to mitigate damage, I'd rather be the only one that gets, got. If anybody's got to get got. I feel like I owe you that much.
Right, but okay. So Kelvy, tell me this. If you get got, as you're saying, do you honestly think that means we're off the hook with Faisal? If he pulls off your mask, realizes that this was Kelvy all along, he can do whatever the fuck he pleases.
Let's say he'll be living in fear for quite a bit. I did tell him in the event of my death that a certain article that I wrote would be distributed, which would which would, shall we say, tarnish his reputation in the eyes of the Elfir and Drow alike. So given that he would have killed me, might get a little worried that this was part of my master plan to die a martyr. Who knows? I don't know. But there's a chance that if I die, it might not bounce back to you.
I just, like, table talk wise, I feel like Rick understands what Kelvy is saying, but I still feel that, like, he's very much opposed to Kelvy going at this alone, and I think Rick also believes that the rest of the party would be adamantly opposed to you, like, becoming a martyr and taking one for the team. Like,
Barnabas wouldn't be okay with that. That's for damn sure.
But I also don't think that
But
Rick...
Barnabas isn't here, so...
Minrai would be totally cool with it. But
yeah.
I think Minrai would worry that, like, you wouldn't pull it off well enough and that he'd come after us, right? Because, like, the whole thing at the beginning is like, okay, well, one, fighting them's not an option. Like, we've already had a monologue about how he's, like, a total badass in combat, right?
Yeah.
Two, like, at the first session, Elise was like, when they find, like, a group of, like, people who are, like, dissidents or whatever, they kill, like, them and their family and the people they live with and the building they're in, and then they throw salt on their babies, and then they kill those two. Like, they
salt
go
first,
hard, right?
kill second.
Does salting babies kill them?
Eggs.
Maybe
like
when they kill an
slugs.
egg, you know?
Like slugs, yeah, like slugs. Once they come out of
Do
the
we
eggs, they're like
metamorphize
slugs.
from slugs to... Okay.
Honestly,
But yeah,
I
I just don't know if the sacrifice route would be the best unless you've, like, acid dipped your
So
face.
here's what I'm thinking. I think if Rick wants the team to weigh in, then Rick needs to get Kelvy to go back to Derelictus and wait for the team to be there.
I'm gonna have to go to Derelictus anyway because I left my mask in our room because I'm not gonna carry that around.
Yeah. So, like, if you think that the conversation is kind of dead ended into Kelvy repeating his reasoning, Rick repeating his reasoning, like, I would say that you know, for both of your purposes, that might be the next move.
Yeah,
Not descriptive for you. I was just, since we were table talking.
No. That's perfect, and it also, like, would enable us to not have a vastly split party again.
Imagine.
Right. Yeah. The best thing that we can try and do is reform. But yeah, I think, you know, if Kelvy and Rick want to, you know, walk and talk in very hushed whispers, obviously in public, but back to the Vermissian to get back to Derelictus. I mean, Kelvy can be convinced. It's just he's worried that, you know, if he dies, everybody with him is going to die. So
well,
it's that risk.
Let's,
you know,
leave
that he's trying to...
that conversation for when the group is there, because it sounds like everybody at the table kind of wants to weigh in character. So let's give that a chance to breathe and see where Hennis is at. You were making your way to go up Spire?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In terms of timing on this, I think this is, you started to go up Spire a little earlier maybe than Rick and Kelvy meeting up at Harmonious Properties.
Well, did I leave before or after Rick?
After Rick made his way, yeah, because you went to Civilization and kind of checked out some stuff about Harlan before, right? And then before going up Spire, and Rick just left. Is that right? Am I forgetting something?
Because I went to Civilization and then we went and grabbed Rick and talked to Mama Luke.
Yeah.
And then we split
that's
up.
right. Mm-hmm.
So I think we were headed up Spire at the same time.
Yeah.
Roughly. I had to drop Harlan off first, but that's just shortly out of the way.
Yeah, Gray. Okay.
Yeah, Gray.
Yes. Okay, good. So you did go separately, but close together. Okay, that's good
Yeah.
to know. Okay, so yeah, you make your way to the Gutterkin, and unless you feel like you need to roleplay it, you start making your way up Spire. We're gonna go ahead and roll resist for me.
Oh boy.
Against what?
I'm not
I
That's
was
the one
saying
that doesn't have a
sure.
building,
I
right?
didn't know if I just missed it.
you
Sorry.
right. So it correct. It does not have. You are just rolling resist. If you have resist as a skill or whatever, you can roll 2. A 6. Okay.
6.
That headache that you got last night, this morning, the
Huh?
piercing pain, you start to feel it again. You do shake it off, but you take. Actually, do you shake it off? I'm so sorry you don't. That was at difficulty 1 because you failed your last resist check and you rolled a 6, which makes it a 5.
Which is a fail. Yeah.
Which is a failure. I'm
You
sorry. I
Wait.
was like, no, it's 6. You made it. Good job. But you did fail the last one, and I was like, every time, -1. So, so that is actually a 5, which means you did fail. You are not long into your journey up Spire when that headache comes back with a vengeance. It is, again, just piercing, splitting pain in your head, and you full stop in your tracks. Like, there is no moving forward right now with this, like, intense pain, and you're going to take 2 damage to mind, which puts you at 3 total.
Yes, it does.
Okay, so a 2 or lower on a d10 will result in fallout. No fallout. And the Gutterkin who's helping you today, or guiding you today, is kind of rushes over to help. But honestly, your body is kind of moved by this Gutterkin back away from the edge and up against somewhere that's relatively, for what this place is, stable. How would Hennis respond to this coming back? You have options of how you kind of want to respond, and I want to hear kind of your gut reaction to see where it goes next.
I mean, he's used to pain, but not like splitting headache kind of pain.
This is in a very different kind of pain. You're used to the physical pain of fights and beatings. This feels like something completely different than physical pain.
Yeah, I think he definitely has abandoned all thought of going up Spire or being around anyone important. But I mean, honestly, he would probably just try and work through it and head backwards like himself, because he hasn't really done anything else when he's been in pain than just grinned and bared it.
Mm-hmm. So you would want to try to keep moving, like
back down Spire.
Right. But yeah, so keep moving. Okay. Roll resist.
Is it at a difficulty?
I don't know. Is it?
Well, then you'll have to do the math yourself. I won't put it in Roll20.
2.
Ooh.
Luckily, it wasn't a difficulty.
Doesn't matter.
It would matter because it would have been a 1, and you would take double stress on Fallout. So,
ouch.
You are attempting to walk back down Spire through this pain. You can barely hear from like the blood pounding in your ears. And you're going to take, if it ever rolls, 2 stress to blood as you trip and fall and injure yourself, kind of skidding down a part of, let's see, that's... so you're now at 5?
No, I'm at 4. I had 1 resistance or armor,
Great.
whatever it's called.
Okay, so 4. So I will roll Fallout. And it will be a 3 or lower. You take... it's a 3.
At least it happened early.
Yeah, very true. So 4 is actually like a really good level to have stress or to get it at because it's still minor fallout. And let's see.
Y'all, what if I'm just trapped in the middle of the spire?
That would suck.
I won't find you because I'm
okay.
going to take a sky whale down. So I mean,
the minor fallout you will take is adrenaline. Your instincts kick in. I think this makes perfect sense. And you do something stupid. So you're either going to like lash out, try to fight, get panicked. What stupid kind of adrenaline punch a rat kind of adrenaline fueled response do you think Hennis would do? And you can take 3 stress off now because you did suffer minor fallout.
Buy a timeshare.
Buy a timeshare. Go away. That's
Inspire.
Is that just a 3, not a D3, and from anything?
It's 3 and it's from anything.
Okay.
When you suffer fallout, yeah, there's like set numbers for what type of fallout you suffer, minor, moderate, or severe. That just gets erased.
Okay. As much trouble as this might get me in, I think he would kind of start beating up on himself.
Okay.
Like, the adrenaline's kicking in, just need to get enough to get back down where he's going. Pump himself up is the thought process.
Okay. Yeah, so you go ahead and mark 1 stress to blood for choosing something like actual causing physical harm to yourself. And excuse me. Your Gutterkin guide starts to kind of back away from you, seems very like scared, intimidated by your sudden behavior. The pain with the surge of adrenaline that you feel, the pain clears up for a split second. You kind of this I mean, that's what adrenaline is for, right? It like rushes through your system to give you that ability to make a flight or fight kind of response. And as you kind of like trigger more adrenaline rush through kind of like a physical attack against yourself, you hear a voice that the pain had previously been drowning out, right? Like it wasn't this, it's the same, you feel like it's the same source as the pain is now the voice, that the clarity of mind that came from this adrenaline rush has given you a chance to hear. And it is occult chanting. And yes, it's occult chanting. Not necessarily words that you're terribly familiar with. Like this is, I don't think you're skilled in occult, are you?
No.
So you can't really make out what it is outside of the fact that this feels like a targeted psychological attack. I mean, you're feeling pain, right? It's causing damage, but attack is kind of a strong word to use for what evidence you have, but nevertheless, like a targeted psychological attack on your mind in some way. And
does it sound like a chorus, or is there like a voice I recognize?
It's a singular voice. You can roll investigate and high society if you want to find out if you know who it is.
I will absolutely do that. I have high society, not investigate.
Okay, 7 is success at a cost. You do take stress. So you're going to take a D3
Jesus
of mind.
Christ.
Yeah, mind stress.
Is this the most stress Hennis has taken the entire campaign?
I think it is.
Just like, I feel like he's been like rolled super well and done super great. And now he's just in this fucking tunnel by himself, just like headache, beating himself up, crying in a puddle. Like,
so you take 3 stress to mind. Can you tell me? I have your stress at, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that correct?
5 now.
5. Okay, I wasn't sure where you had resistance.
Don't you lose some when you take fallout?
Yes,
I did. I took 3 away, and I had 1 left.
A lot of Chris says that with that level of stress, the voice is Gilbert Gottfried.
So it's 4 or lower will be fallout, and then we'll resolve 2. Okay. And you were at 5?
Uh-huh.
Oh God, this is brutal.
Jesus Christmas.
Let's see
Hennessy's
what
Are you
gonna have a
taking
very bad day.
multiple fallouts?
Yeah, multiple fallouts. A very bad day.
And you caused this because you chose to beat yourself up and take more stress, which then you got fallout on.
But now I'm gonna know the voice because it was success. I hope.
Yeah. So
It's Gilbert Gottfried.
here's how we're gonna play this. The fallout that so this is moderate fallout, which means you can erase I think 5. You can remove 5 stress, which gets you back down to 0.
I'm gonna keep 1.
You'll keep 1. Okay. And get rid of a okay. And the voice that you hear, and then we'll get to the fallout.
What a quick question. Sorry. Do I still have the adrenaline fallout? Do I need to get rid of it, or does it go away?
The adrenaline fallout is because it's moderate or it's minor. It kind of is like a thing that happens, and then upon doing the thing, such as like beating on yourself or something, it goes away.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, there are some types that are ongoing, but this is not one of them. The voice you recognize is not someone you encountered frequently at Lady Hellion's estate, but nevertheless, that look, I feel like a bad person. Nevertheless, someone that you recognize as one of Lady Hellion's attendants that you know that she holds in very high esteem, and have never been fully interested or debriefed for any reason. Like, why would you? That's not your role, right? But you've seen this person around off and on. She doesn't attend this other person. She doesn't attend fights or anything with any great frequency, but is occasionally attending in order to be present with Lady Hellion to have discussions. Sometimes you see them deep in discussion together. And on occasion, over the many years that you have served her, you've had a brief conversation at a party or something, and the voice is definitely that person. This is a high elf woman whose voice you are hearing. That is what you know about her.
Okay, so has the pain decreased enough that I can move yet, or am I still...
We didn't do the fallout effect, though. That's just what you learned. Here's your fallout. You freak out. This is the name of the fallout. You lose it in an attempt to drive off whatever is causing this, and you won't calm down until you're just restrained or whatever is causing this is destroyed. I think in your situation, along with like you already having like kind of physically hurt yourself in response to this, I'm going to propose, and you can tell me what you think, that Hennis' kind of freak out is against himself, like, and that you fall unconscious here. But you can tell me if there's another way that you'd like to play.
I can't think of anything better, but if he takes that, I think there should be some blood stress associated with it. Because like if I'm supposed to be restrained to get rid of this, I'm going to be lashing out and everything at myself.
I'm kind of I'm kind of treating the like falling or unconscious as like the restraint. But if you think that you should take a blood stress or then in order for that to happen, then
I think that fits.
You don't have to, but but yeah, you can go ahead and mark 1 to blood and
right.
And yeah, you...
That does up my total.
That what? Does not...
It does up my total.
It does? So we need to roll... You are at 2. So if I roll a 1, God help us, if I roll a 1, this will take...
Oh my god, I really want you to now.
No. You're fine.
Okay. I just wanted to have a triple fallout. Just keep going.
And I think, you fall unconscious here in the Vermisian, it just in the walkway. And I think what happens is some hour and a half later, on their way back to Derelictus, you are discovered there, still unconscious, a bit bloodied, by Rick and Kelvy.
Love it.
Oh God!
Your Gutterkin, your Gutterkin guide having abandoned you, because he was already freaked out when you did, started like, oh God, and then you like beat your head against the wall until you collapsed. So he ran away, and yeah, yes, Rick and Kelvy come down Spire and find you, but before we have them encounter you, let's jump up to New Heaven really quick. And
Yay. Also, there was a question about Helpful Goat podcast stuff, and I tried to tag Sam to answer it, but
I'm in the midst of typing out my response right now.
okay. Just want to make sure somebody saw it.
all right, in New Heaven, Minrai and Barnabas have just been called back into the office of Phineas. I think Phineas is the one who invited you back.
I think it was
Mhm.
Curve, actually.
No.
And so Phineas and you Maud is with you, and Minrai is of course also present. And Phineas, yeah, that's right, because Minrai and Phineas had a little conversation, which resulted, as someone pointed out in the recap, in Phineas being kind of impressed with Minrai and saying like, yes, you can come as well. Yeah, so you are the three of you, Sweet Pea being off with her fellow hyenas, for a little romp around the temple, are invited back into an office, and as you kind of enter, you see Saul as well as inside. So this is Saul and Phineas have kind of been gathered here, and yeah, they invite you in, ask you to have a seat, offer some tea, which is brewed very differently for Minrai as an outsider than it is for
Ooh, how is it
I
brewed?
gingerly pick up the teacup from the head of the goat that came in to serve
Yeah,
it.
and- yeah.
This is so kind of you. I can't believe this generosity.
Saul is like, we have to pay them so much, you don't even know.
Oh,
What do they do with the money? I don't know.
goat things, I guess. This is a great thing
Does
to
it,
know.
I only
You gotta
hope
just put them in their weird little goat hands, you know?
I only hope that I don't live long enough to have to know what the goats are doing with all the money we're giving them.
Yes. Perhaps one day they will show up in Derelictus, and then it will be even greater of a mystery.
Well, thanks for coming in. Everybody sit down.
I am already sitting.
Yeah, Phineas has the flesh sample that you brought, Barnabas, because you handed it over at the end of last session.
The one I recently did with the occult,
Yes.
the weird like occult energy one.
Yes. The one from the guy that you fished out of the Vermisian zero
The
gravity.
librarian's dad that's somehow alive now, but
Yeah.
future dead in the Vermisian too.
Yeah, that one. Nothing about that's
Got it.
confusing. What's wrong?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and Phineas kind of holds it up to Saul and tosses it over, and Saul snatches it out of the air and kind of, starts to sniff it over and look at it and asks Phineas, like, where did you...
Yeah.
Did you...
Oh, sorry.
No, you brought... And he's holding it
I
up.
brought it on the way up here. We you know how sometimes do they know about the Vermisian vault and things like
Yeah.
that? Would I
Mhm.
know that okay.
Yeah.
Weird things happen in the Vermisian vault. And
So it's not the vault, it's just the Vermisian. Yeah. So the vault does exist. And
Okay.
I think maybe as a party you speculated that you had encountered a room in the vault. However,
that's what I was
the
thinking.
vault is
Okay.
like way more of like not many people know about it or understand it.
So
or
I could just say that we encountered a weird thing in the Vermisian that popped up.
Yes.
Okay.
You could say like we think it might be the vault, right? But you would be much less certain about that knowledge if you even were speculating about it.
Cool. So yeah, weird things pop up in the Vermisian sometimes, and we found this room that was full of floating things, and pulled this guy out, and I thought maybe we could feed. But it seemed like his entire body was infused with occult magics, and even Sweet Pea wouldn't touch it. So I thought it might be worthwhile bringing it up here, since we eat a lot of bodies. I figure sometimes it's good to know why we can't eat certain ones. And
It is good to know that there are bodies that she will not eat.
Well, Saul kind of turns it over another time or two before setting it down on the table. It's just this lump of flesh that is now being just set on the table. Very normal for Charnelian
Kind of like
priests.
stare at it, but like try my best to keep my composure. Like Minrai's just trying not to be weird about it. She's just like, "Yep, lump of flesh on the tea
flesh
table.
on the table.
That's how we're doing it
It's
now.
there's probably
a lump of organ, like a piece of liver or
Doesn't
something.
make it much better in her eyes.
There's
Yeah.
also like Minrai, you like cut your eyes to like Barnabas's tea and see like
Like an
how like when
eyeball
fat
floating in.
like when fat melts,
Oh,
how it like sits on the
no!
top layer of like, and you can see it like like pooling. Yeah, it's like you get a little shiver down your spine imagining
Yeah,
what could.
Minrai's just kind of like, she feels like a goat amongst wolves. Kind of like sitting there like, yep, I'm a guest.
And
here.
Saul gestures toward this lump of flesh on the table and says, we've seen things like this rarely, but before this this is probably, you said in the Vermisian, there's places in the Vermisian where people have spent so many years, the unreality, the closer you get to the heart of Spire, the more that the unreality affects you. And the longer that you expose yourself to that unreality, the more likely it is that it gains life is too strong a word, a chaos of its own. I don't know how else to put it, but too much time exposed to a single drow life in the Vermisian near the heart, just chaos always happens. And I think that's what this fellow, and he picks up the chunk of flesh again, this fella must have happened, because this is a lot of and sets it back down.
Like,
So then
into, like,
the
her
real
teacup, like
the real question is what do you seem to know a lot about this stuff. I knew I could count on you. What would happen if somebody were to eat some?
Anybody want to try?
I do not want to try, but maybe a goat?
The goats don't really eat flesh, not much use in that regard, but they do, when they die, allow the hyenas and the carrion birds to eat their flesh, so we permit their existence for that reason.
It is good to know that the goats do not eat flesh too.
I mean,
There'd be a lot of fighting up here if they did, am I right?
They might, but I haven't seen it, so, but I've heard goats will eat anything.
Yeah, they don't really need the sharp teeth because they got the thumbs. They can just hold a knife and fork,
It's so much.
God.
Just sit them down in front of a nice plate of steak.
Sorry.
Give them a knife.
I keep coughing and I feel terrible for all of your ears.
You shouldn't.
No, it's not.
But he's like, honestly,
not that you shouldn't cough, that you shouldn't feel terrible. That's what
we don't.
You shouldn't cough, at least.
Don't cough. Yeah, no, he's like, I don't think I've known anyone to sample it because, like you said, Sweet Pea wouldn't eat it. I don't want to eat it. I think.
I just thought you might have ideas because you know a lot.
It would probably be gross, and maybe you would feel gross. I feel like Charnel wouldn't love it there's something holy about the consumption of thinking flesh, and to consume flesh that has been so steeped in something so detached from either life or death is sacrilege.
That's fair. Should we dispose of it?
He's like, I'll hang on to it, see if any of the guys want to take a sniff. Unless you want to keep it.
Totally not weird. No.
Just pass it around.
Does someone get weirder than Barnabas? Someone weirded Barnabas out?
Just a nice little
Never.
local flesh for the fam.
So then, point number 2, because I came up here with a lot of things to discuss. I figure first things first, we could talk about King Teeth. Seems to be kind of honing in on our territory a little bit and riling up all the ghouls. So I'm not really sure if you know anything about that or if we should do anything about that, because I know usually Maud works with the ghouls down in Derelictus, but things are a bit crazy. They came to the clutch in our building. I don't know what's going on with King Teeth.
Maud chimes in. I feel like I just do all the same voice for Maud, Phineas, and Saul.
We're all just like, hey,
yeah, just chain smokers. Oh, that's right, because Maud has a cigarette that she just like sucks on too.
Yep.
Maud chimes in.
Seriously, just every single time one of them starts talking right beforehand, they just one long drag the whole cigarette, put it out, and then just start talking, and there's just like smoke coming out of their mouths.
Just for the whole time, yeah. Maud chimes in and says, I've had a meeting already with Phineas and Saul about the King Teeth situation. I think our next move is to take a few priests back down with us to see if we can get the ghouls down there to chill. But this news that you've brought about the ghouls attacking, maybe, and she kind of looks up to Phineas and is like, maybe we accelerate that timeline. And there's some kind of nodding amongst the people as like someone, Phineas jots a note down, and Saul kind of agrees that like that would be something to move faster on. And eventually, as this kind of dies down, Saul puts in a little bit more and says, this King Teeth thing, it's new to us too. We've never seen ghouls behave this way. And so I think...
This is Rachel asking over the table. Ghouls are like what happened when people eat human flesh and like aren't blessed by Charnel, but are they still like technically under the tent of Charnel, or are they totally separate?
No, so
they're totally separate, and now kind of it seems like King Teeth is kind of being like, oh well, Charnel didn't bless you, so here I am.
Yeah, so
kind of
Charnel's blessing or whatever kind of comes first for most Carrion priests. Like there is a like dedication to Charnel that then permits the consumption of thinking flesh without losing your mind and becoming a ghoul and losing your humanness, but drowness, right? Your humanity, but your drowmanity.
Drowmanity.
Drowmanity. Hashtag.
Oh, the drowmanity.
And so you so versus people who like just eat it because they just eat it, as opposed to it being like this kind of holy communion or whatever with Charnel, turn into ghouls over time. So they lose their minds, they lose their kind of what tethers them to being drow, and ultimately become ghouls, right? And are actually physically and mentally transformed, right? They are no longer themselves, right, through the consumption of thinking flesh.
Y'all motherfuckers need Charnel.
So here's the question: Can I like get up and be like, allow me to confer with my friend for just half a moment, and I'll kind of like scooch over to Barnabas and like kneel down and just be like, real whispery type and just be like, should we tell them about the cracks and maybe ask for like an occult implement? Do you think that they would have that? I mean, they are like a church or something, right? I know they just like eat people, maybe like a holy knife or like some kind of occult gut scooper or some kind of like, I don't know, like an intestine spaghetti
You don't really
twirler.
scoop the guts. You
I
more
don't
just
want. I
like
just. But
slurp
should we
them.
tell
It's
them?
like a.
Yes. No. Maybe. I mean,
So,
like.
Elise, what would my knowledge be of their acceptance, understanding of that kind of like occult shit that was seeping through? Would they be? Would they have knowledge about it? I mean, it seemed like he knew about the unreality and shit in the Vermissian and stuff. So would they have knowledge about it? And do I think that they would have something useful? And would it be, if I asked, would it be weird and uncomfortable?
Or more importantly, would it be safe?
And if you
Because
say
it
I
was
don't know,
mentioned
that's
that,
also
like,
fine,
No,
and
that's
I can
okay.
just make the decision.
well, it's mentioned their strategy for solving problems has been to murder and then eat the corpses, which, if we have a magic basement, not the greatest move here.
Yeah,
like,
so
murder.
this, I think, what you know about, like, the Carrion priests are concerned with that which affects death. Life less interesting to Carrion priests in general than death. And insofar as they know about what happened with the Vermissian and the unreality, your sense of that is that it's connected to this kind of distrust among worshippers of Charnel for unreality and those who channel it or use it, because unreality is this kind of third thing outside the realm of natural life and death, right? And so, and for worshippers of Charnel, there is a pretty strong importance placed on the kind of natural flow of death is part of life, right? Death is part of nurturing and nourishing future generations through rebirth and like space for new growth and those kinds of things. And so in order for, and literally nourishing bodies, because you eat. And so the interest in unreality, or the knowledge of like flesh that has been so imbued with unreality that it actually changes the nature of the flesh, is within their scope a little bit. Like, they've seen it a few times because flesh and death and unreality all kind of intermix in this thing. Versus do they just know a lot about unreality and how it works? No, that's outside the
Right.
scope.
And they probably wouldn't have any of the like, I would know that they wouldn't have any kind of implement or something like they had mentioned before, because they don't deal in that kind of thing.
Right. And occult focus, not really. Yeah, again, like they have a certain amount of like occult like spells and things at your disposal, but it is for you and for your peers understood as religious occult.
Yeah.
Even though like those things are typically at odds, like you would be the first to say like, no, my power comes from Charnel, right? And even though others would be like, that's occult shit, and like the handbook says like roll occult, right? For some of these things, from the Carrion priest perspective, they are doing religious magic, not occult magic, and therefore
Gotcha.
yeah. Yes.
Okay, so I'd probably like whisper back to Ava then, like, it's
Who's
not
Ava?
really
Yeah, who is Ava? Got him.
Minrai.
Suddenly
characters are
Ava poof
merging with
into
who we are.
interdimensional janitor style.
You be quiet.
It's an Adventure Zone reference for those who.
Yeah, there's no Clint McElroy here.
Yeah.
I would whisper to Minrai. That's not really
We don't do
our
that here.
area of expertise.
Yeah.
We're more, we're very devout religious folks. I mean, I know that you can tell that from interacting with me
Of course.
and how
yes,
good of a
you are
religious man I am,
the definition of pious.
right?
Saul kind of clears his throat and is like, so we did have more to share with you. If
Oh,
Are
very
you-
sorry. Yes, I have been so rude. Let us continue. I was just making sure that we didn't ask a dumb question. Of course, I am new to all of this.
Phineas
Please
is like,
continue,
there are no
friend.
dumb questions. Very supportive
that
flesh eaters here.
Yeah. We're good people.
I am beginning to love this place for its eccentricities more and more.
Phineas and Saul kind of like make eye contact and are like, any interest in, the
Nope.
okay, just check.
Nope.
I like how you put
regular-
your fingers up to your mouth like,
Yeah, you want to eat the flesh?
wanna
You
eat
want to
some
eat the
human
flesh?
We don't do that
Sure.
transmutation bullshit. We just do it straight up, you know.
We are squarely on different sides of the cycle
Sorry
of
to
life,
Catholics.
and
I mean, you like New Heaven. I was just okay.
I do like New Heaven.
Listen, Barney.
I've tried to get her to have some gallbladder juice, and she just never wants to try
that's
it.
the tastiest. It's so
Cool,
good.
right?
Ryan's gonna definitely like try to go back and
Phineas kind of crosses his arms. He's good natured, smiling, but is starting to get impatient. And kind of clears his throat and looks at Saul and kind of nods. He almost looks like a kid in like Christmas morning, right? Like the excitement of like, I've got something cool and I need to. And so Saul was like, okay. So what Phineas is trying to get us to, that vial of blood that you sent up with Maud, we've known about this infection, and you get the same reasoning of like it fucks with death and the natural kind of cycle of death, carried in the blood for a while, but we actually have never been able to get a fresh sample because we've always just found corpses that had been infected. We don't know, nor is it really in our interest to find people currently infected. But with this, Phineas and his friends, and like and you have a sense like that Phineas is like more of like the I want to like fiddle with things, and Saul is more of like the bureaucrat, right? And
I'm like, Phineas is who I was hoping for, to want to like.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's kind of the scientist in the group, but science is a strong word for what Phineas has done.
He's a scientist.
He's a scientist. Phineas has worked with his friends.
He's a creepy serial killer in a basement. Is basically it.
Basically, we want to keep we want to keep our priests safe, and we think that this might finally be the key to unlocking that. And he kind of gestures, and Phineas hands you a talisman, which I'm going to put in your journal now.
I get an item.
Wait, can I see it too?
Player's journal.
No.
Damn.
Save changes. I think I can click show to players, and you can everyone see it?
Jesus. Yeah.
I
Okay.
cannot.
Okay, so it's
Does that help?
Oh, it popped up for me.
Yeah, I'll put it in everybody's so you guys can read it. It's not like it's all players. Big secret, but it is. So okay, show to players. So now you can see it.
Oh, I can see it now.
So it's essentially, well, Rachel, would you like to do the honors of?
I can read it.
Yeah.
It is called the Blood Scent Talisman. The talisman can be held aloft in the open air while prayer is said to Charnel. Upon doing so, anyone within 10 feet who is infected by the Vis virus immediately becomes known to the user by scent. The effect of the talisman is immediate. There is no duration to its effect. Gain mastery on pursue checks made against any such person. Once used in this manner, the talisman feels warm to the touch and must be fed by the person wearing it, as a necklace or a bracelet when not in use, through the consumption of thinking flesh to be reactivated. Until the next time the wearer eats thinking flesh, the talisman remains warm and dormant and will have no effect when held aloft. So I use it, and then I can like fucking sniff out Vis people and pursue them well, and then it just stays nice and warm on my chest until I have a good meal, and then it cools down.
Yeah. Exactly. So the act of holding it up, it is something that has to be done visibly. Like you can't. This is like you put it out in the open air and you say a prayer to your god, and it's a 10-foot radius. Anybody within that distance who is infected will become known to you. Basically, you'll be able to smell this within 10 feet of you. And you can pinpoint who it is. It's not just like, oh, I smell it, but also like, oh, I smell it on that person. And then you gain the ability to kind of track that person in the future if were you interested in tracking them down. So Phineas kind of explains it to you a little bit, and hands it over, and he's like, this is this is yours to keep. We've made 4 of them, so there's not many of them, so don't lose it or I'll be really mad. And we're hoping
I
that
would never.
we're hoping that with the other 3, we can send some more worshippers and find more people who are infected and
So
take
how
more
did
blood.
did you make this?
Yeah.
So how can you tell me how it works? Like, what did you do? How did you know more about Vis? Tell me everything you know about Vis.
Okay, what I know about this is that when I have blood taken from a fresh body that isn't dead, so I guess a living person, don't
That
deal
is
with
what
those
we
too
call
often.
them.
No.
I eat their
Down
bodies
under.
after they die. That's my job.
It's okay. I deal with a lot of the living. It's weird, but I'm pretty used to it.
Phineas kind of
Probably
like, well,
pretty quiet up here, huh?
Maud reaches over and like pats you sympathetically on the back as you say, like, I deal with the living a lot. Um, and and Phineas is like, so we knew that this existed and none of us wanted to get infected and so that's what I know is that I need fresh blood to make more of these.
So what if I told you that there is a way for me to get fresh blood? Maybe more.
Then we can make more talismans, I guess.
But here's the thing, is I would need Phineas, are you with me? Okay, so you like tinkering with things, right?
You better strap in, Phineas. This is going to be a long haul. I have heard the Barnabas get
So
like this before.
so
Sip my tea.
I'm really glad that you're making these talismans and you're giving them to us to protect us. I think that's great. I really appreciate it. But how about if I can set up a way to get you some more fresh blood? You dedicate some of your, amazing brain and fun tinkering abilities to maybe try and see if we can figure out an antidote. Does the word antidote exist in Spire? I don't know.
I believe the word that you're looking for, friend, is cure.
Sure that.
Okay, interesting.
So like
Roll,
I
yeah,
get
yeah,
you
yeah.
fresh blood, you make talismans, but you also dedicate some time to see if you can maybe fix it.
Yeah, so
Like let's not just protect against the problem. Let's like try and solve the
stomp the
problem,
problem
you know?
out.
But
Kill the
maybe
problem, right?
but here's the thing. If we can solve the problem without killing it, then that means that when those bodies eventually die, that's more bodies we can eat. As opposed to when they die, they're just wasted flesh, right?
Like
We don't like
cannibalism.
wasting flesh.
Phineas is not very compelled right here, but you see Saul actually kind of like reaches out and puts like a hand out. And I think Minrai, I think you would be the only one in the room not to know this, but it would still be news to Rachel. Like, you see this gesture, this kind of touch is like very intimate and familiar, and like get to kind of read like, Saul and Phineas, that's interesting, and kind of pulls Phineas back a little and is like, I know we typically just kind of kill our problems, but we can't eat
Did everybody
this
freeze?
problem.
Oh,
It's just
I just
you.
froze really bad.
Sorry, or was it me?
You froze and then everybody, and then I was very startled. Continue.
Okay, everyone's okay.
I'm fine now.
Yeah, and Saul says, but we can't eat this problem after we kill it. So we might as well try. I mean, and Saul kind of has this more like religious vibe around him a bit and is like, plus, you know, if we can disrupt whatever it is that's fucking with the normal death cycle, that's probably better. And Phineas,
Right, like Charnel will be more pleased if we can not just stamp this out by killing all of its followers all the time, but to stamp it out by actually making it so that it's no longer an issue.
And I will say this as somebody who is spending quite a lot of time amongst the living. I do have it on good intel that the Vis are looking to spread their disease and not on small terms. So it would be ideal if we could perhaps
Be a lot of wasted flesh, but if we could figure out a cure, then that could be a lot of saved flesh for later.
The
so Rachel, have Barnabas roll compel. You can take help from Minrai. Religion domain. So it's either 3 or 4 d10, depending on if you.
Let me check. I have religion. I don't have compel. So it's 3?
3 with
Plus-
Minrai's help, yes.
Okay. It's a success with bad.
Yeah, so the stress
Success
is
with bad. That's how you say
the
it, right?
stress is going to go on your bond, not on, because you have a bond with all 3 of the people in this room, and it is a street level bond. And so you have successfully gotten Phineas around. Saul was on the same page, but we're gonna go ahead and put some stress on that bond.
Can I
Which
also
one?
say that the midwives are kind of looking into this as well, and that we may benefit at some point from cooperation?
Is there an intent to do something with that, or like
more just maybe lessen the strain on the bond by adding more active parties?
I see. Interesting.
Because Marguerite did say that she was
Yeah.
talking with the midwives to try to help Kelvy, right?
Yeah. Interesting. You see Saul kind of pull Phineas toward him and whisper, kind of like you did earlier, Minrai, for a minute, kind of furiously for a second. And after a minute, Phineas kind of nods along, looks a little like, not really like mad or anything, but just kind of like, great, more work for me, right? That kind of feeling to his response. But I think that does that they turn to you, Minrai, as you kind of say this and put that out into the thing, and they're like, I think the time has come for the carrion priests and the midwives to start strengthening their relationships. And if you think that you can get your house mother on board, and Maud and Barnabas can kind of begin.
House mother sounds like it's a sorority.
Yeah.
The house mother, that would be Marguerite, right?
Yeah, that would be Marguerite. Okay. If you can get your house mother on board and Barnabas and Maud, and he kind of looks, this is Saul, between the two of you, are willing to begin the work of strengthening that relationship, I think that can go a long way. And essentially what we can do with this is kind of, as work is put into making that relationship stronger, give you more clout to use this bond between Charnel and the midwives kind of working together as kind of a higher level organization than they could achieve individually.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah.
Go ahead and mark just 2 stress to your bond with Phineas. We'll say Minrai's kind of last minute intercession kind of soothed some of the stress there. Okay. And let's go ahead and take a break. It's been a minute. We're a little over time for a break, so manage your fluids.
Everyone
Mhm.
go pee.
Yeah, and we will be back in about 10 minutes. So around 8:32. And I'll see you then.
Yeah, bye
Yay.
everyone.
All right,
never
we're live now, so you're just talking about pickle juice live on the internet. All right, let's pick up in the Vermissian with Sam, we can't hear you. Sorry, I see you
Sam, you're
talking
muted.
and showing us something, but I can't.
It's gonna be about a minute for me before I can talk. So
Oh.
Let's talk about pickle juice for a minute.
yeah.
I mean,
well, how about
Cat?
this?
be a lot of stuff then.
Hennis,
Oh, yeah, it's cattail.
don't
Cat?
talk for a
Cat?
minute because Cat.
Hand down.
Cat?
Oh my god, you guys.
Right, sorry.
I'm sorry, Elise.
I was
It's a
like,
cat butt.
I just had like a panic where I'm like, I thought the dog was out. What do you mean cats? Not my
not
cats.
my fault. So cute.
He doesn't want to look at the camera.
Baby.
And this is the one that doesn't let me move him around as much. This is the littles. Kitty, kitty, cat.
Give him love. If he wants to go, let him go.
Okay, Hennis, before you wake up, last time you had this headache, you took a lot of drugs.
Yes, I did.
This time, you did not have the opportunity to take a lot of drugs. And instead of a kind of entranced, dreamless state, you passed out with this kind of occult voice that you noticed through the pain, right?
Mhm.
And you don't know how long you're passed out. You're not fully conscious of it until you come awake again. But as you come awake to, I presume, Kelvy and Rick being like, wake up, Hennis, you are experiencing that fading memory thing of a dream.
Mhm.
And you kind of hang on to it and like groggy thinking, and like you're pretty sure that your dream, instead of a normal dream where like logic is, who cares, and people appear and go away and change, your memories are being triggered. Specific memories are being triggered. Memories of the night that recently you were up Spire and went and got a mask. Memories of talking to a young drow woman in the streets, I think at all times masked, handing her a Hellion mask, going to the Faisal estate. Those memories are kind of playing out as you are coming awake, and it's fading. It's fading away. You come awake, and Kelvy, Rick, Hennis, anybody?
Well, it's funny. I was just talking about a cat because it sounds like it's out of the bag.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Wait,
Don't like it.
what did I just miss? I missed something.
Pretty sure
Definitely.
that
You
occult
missed a
spell-
beautiful pun. And
Yeah.
Okay.
and shit is going down with
Leave
Lady
But-
me
but
Outlaw.
alone. Pretty sure
What
that
shit?
headache I was having was someone
Uh-huh.
reading my memories of that night where everything went down.
Oh, fuck
But
me.
we don't know that for sure, so let's head back to.
Oh yeah, let's wait for confirmation before we worry about that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Actually,
fine.
what do I wake up to?
Well, how long had Hennis been unconscious? Like after we got there?
I mean, you're coming down with a Gutter King guide, and you essentially see him collapse there. So how would you respond, I guess, is the question.
His face is pretty bloodied, right? From like he bashed his head against the wall. Okay, so I don't know the origin of that. So I'm gonna, have my knife out and just wait to see if somebody tries to attack us.
Like if he doesn't wake up by me just like trying to like prod him, then
No, he what? If that's what you try first, he wakes up to the first kind of prodding.
Okay, all right. Hennis, were you at the Herald Corporation too? Like that
Yeah.
shouldn't work from time and stuff, but stranger things have happened, I guess. What the fuck?
Where are we right now? The Herald Corporation. What?
We're in the Vermissian.
We're in the
right now.
Vermissian. Who attacked you?
Oh, that was me, if I'm remembering correctly.
You
With-
feel like shit, by the
Perhaps-
way. Between the adrenaline crash and like passing out because you hit your head on the wall so hard, you feel like shit.
But is the headache still there?
No, the headache is gone.
Okay.
I like whatever Malak I have that's left from me giving Kelvy what I've got. Like I'm
guys are cleaning
I'm
Rick
now
out.
pouring the last few drops into your mouth.
It's like, take these drugs, god damn it. Rick's like little misguided flock.
Perhaps if we go back home, that will pause. Maybe that will give me time to get my thoughts together.
Yeah, because
Yeah, let's
it
do
sounds
that. You need help walking?
Yes, absolutely.
Kelvy's gonna
so
help Hennis.
you attacked yourself. Was it like a shadow clone or something?
This is too much talking for right now.
Oh, okay.
Rick, I attacked myself too. We're having that kind of day.
Everyone Rick sees.
Do you feel like you want to punch yourself in the face, Rick?
Can we just pause on this
hold
really
up my
fast and say
bandaged hand.
also
Oh,
no, I love this and I want us to keep going, but I do want to pause on this and like say to the chat, hey, self-harm is a really triggering issue for some people, and we understand if you need to bail or not listen to us have this moment as well. Like, we get it and we're with you. So take care of yourself first, and same to players if we need to like pause on these things as they come up and say like, let's skip that. Always within your, I hope, comfort, but also invited from me, the GM, to do so. Anyway, sorry, I just need to flag that because I feel like self-harm is like a really one of the top,
for sure,
a top
for sure.
triggering content kind of thing. So carry on.
and
so
see.
we head back. I'll just be holding on to Kelvy and also my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I imagine, like, due to your current state, Hennis, that we're probably not talking about what happened at the Herald Corporation, right? Like, yet.
Yeah, if people start
right
talking
now.
if anyone starts talking, I'm like, this is too loud. That is too loud right now.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we're not having a conversation about such triggering subjects, and then we're just trying to make our way back to a hopeful safety.
Back home, yeah.
So as we were, like, I realize we haven't yet made it into the apartment yet, narratively speaking, but as we were popping off for break, I had mentioned that I wanted to notify the ministry as to like what I saw and what Kelvy and I had talked about, to let them know, hey, this is what happened, and you might want to be privy to the fact that somewhere around 20 people or 20 drow were slaughtered. And yeah, so I would probably go ahead and make my way back to the apartment first and kind of set up my right of respite first, and then take care of informing the ministry.
Yeah, and in the past, your contact with the ministry has always been written like delivered like reports, and so you would also need to return home or have access otherwise to paper and things to write on the way. But since you're going back to the apartment, you can certainly take time at the apartment to write write the note. So a rite of respite, you want to use that now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so remind us what
So, yeah.
everyone in the room can do.
So I create a place of stillness and healing. Once per session, I lead my allies in recuperation session while I hold vigil. All allies present may restore 3 stress from mind or blood. And the way that I'm doing it this time is I am, I'm probably providing explicit medical attention to Hennis. And I like to think that Rick has a collection of like drow vinyl, and he like pops up on like a gramophone, like I don't know, Benny and the Blue Drow. Yeah,
Wow.
Yes.
yeah. And he's like dancing around as he does his like prayers. It's cute.
Yeah, so you guys take a breather at the apartment, get cleaned up a little bit, fresh clothes, whatever it is that kind of, along with the rite of respite, kind of helps you feel a little more grounded and a little less chaos from this very chaotic day. I'd say by this point, I mean, with a couple trips up Spire, a couple trips down Spire, and all the things in between, we're looking at probably 5-6 o'clock. So also a good time, have a meal, whatever, for just kind of general. And what and I presume Rick is working on getting a report ready for your contact with the ministry.
Yeah.
Would we
Yes.
still be up at New Heaven at this time? Because we were up in the morning at Minrise family and then
Right.
took the Sky Whale up. So I was just wondering,
Yeah.
timeline, how does that stuff match up?
So you had to travel to Minrise this morning, right?
Right, yeah.
Yep. So you traveled up Spire to Minrise. You met up with Minrai. You found your way to the docks. You took the Sky Whale. I think you're probably about finishing your conversation with Saul and Phineas at this point.
Cool.
And so we can check in a second what your next move would be. So at the apartment, what besides writing up that report, what else are people up to in apartment 307?
After the rite of respite is over, and kind of like as I'm writing my report, or maybe the rite of respite's ongoing, who knows, is Hennis now well enough and like settled to take in some very tumultuous information? All right, that's a shaking of the head. Okay. Then yeah, I guess we recant the story. And I suppose you also tell us about your ill-fated venture up Spire that didn't happen.
Yeah, I definitely recount that back to you guys as well.
And you tell them about the voice you heard and the memories and everything?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think Rick would immediately come to the assumption that Lady Hellion is no longer an ally, because it seems like you have been found out.
Mm-hmm. The occult chanting there, is that anything that Kelvy would be familiar with his knowledge of the occult?
I think if you had been able to hear it, it might have been more useful to you, but Hennis was not familiar enough to be able to repeat something. I'd say the most that you can kind of get is that, like, there are magics that exist that grant you access to a other people's minds and memories. It's a very invasive form of occult magic, and honestly a pretty tough one to pull off. And so, especially if Hennis mentions that the pain is the same as this other headache, perhaps connecting the dots that this has now been done twice, would indicate a quite powerful magic user.
Sure. I feel like it was done twice, or that it was the same thing and possibly still there.
Because the headaches came and went, I think that they feel like episodes.
Okay.
And so, although you were not very conscious for the first time, so you have no idea what, whereas this time you have a bit of an idea what was being dug for. Like what was being dug for the first time, no clue, right? This time you have a clearer idea of that.
Yeah, I think, guys, because it's clearly something, like, if it's anything at all, it's something that is influencing, trying to get information from the mind. And we know that with occult magics, a lot of it does tap into communication, these different elements of our heads. And so I think it's not that much of a large logical leap to assume that someone was literally trying to pry into Hennis's mind. And we also know, just connecting some dots here, that we've been stirring up some shit, and specifically regarding Lady Hellion. And so it would make sense if he was hearing the voice of her kind of first in command, that she was the one, trying to find out this information from all of her, relevant parties.
Perhaps it was not done under her order, but I am afraid that we have made an enemy that I still have to deal with. But either way, I think that we should think about what we all have said, but perhaps not make any plans until the rest of them are here, since I can attest that at least one of them was seen in this last memory. I believe that she should have a say in what we do about it.
I agree. At the time of your headaches, at neither point were you donning one of the Lady Hellion masks, right? So, like, it couldn't have been the mask that was, like, enchanted or something?
No, and that was the mask that I always wear. Mine.
Right.
I cannot attest for the other, but I don't think that had any correlation.
Okay. Right. So I would probably go ahead and take my leave and deliver the letter into the market district. Is that where I'm going? Yeah.
The fruit market.
The Corpse Street Market, yeah.
Yeah.
Kelvin and Hennis, either of you heading out as well, or you want to stay in?
That's a great question. I'm going to stick with Hennis wherever Hennis goes, because we're both pretty not, like, we're a little better physically, but I don't know. At least Kelby's pretty mentally not great. Yeah.
I think that Hennis is going to actually go to civilization.
Okay.
Need some more drinks.
He feels like he could use a drink, and also maybe not alone at home where no one can see him pass out.
Okay.
If it happens again, someone should know that something is happening.
And that he's not just stuck in the vault. It was pretty fortunate that you passed out and we immediately found you.
Right? There's so many paths through the Vermisian. Lucky you guys took that one.
Yep.
Maybe the Gutterkin were just like, hey, this weird guy is friends with those weird guys. Let's lead him down this path.
You also know, like, within the same, like, hour or two, like, they keep track of, like, which paths are currently viable and which aren't. And so given how close together all of this travel was, I think that they were, these are the routes that are happening right now, kind of thing. So yeah, I thought about that. I was like, would they run into each other? Yes, it's so close together that I think it really would. So anyway, that was behind the curtain, but I just like that it got picked up on. Yeah, this Rick to the corpse fruit market, and the other two to civilization. Would Kelvy go to the bar? You said you were sticking with Hennis, so
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So let's Sam, did you have any desire to RP going to the corpse fruit market?
Probably not. I mean, I know that I've exhausted a lot of my
hemlock.
medical supplies in the recent moments, so I might, like, if I see something that I could use to refill, I would absolutely.
Okay. Do you have any silver stress right now?
I have 1 silver stress.
Okay. Yeah. I was just checking. So, okay. I think, this is medical supplies within kind of normal daily, or not normal expenses for you. So yeah, you can pick those up. You don't have to take more stress or anything for it. And yeah, go ahead.
And then I would go to stall 406.
Nice.
and and use the word temple and deliver said missive.
Look at you with all the knowledge.
Yeah. You were you with the group that went and delivered the report last time? Do you remember?
The first time,
yeah.
Were you with me when I went to and awkwardly talked to the boat people, or the wood carving trinkets?
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. You see the same person sitting there, finishing up a sale of like some, trinkets carved like little creatures and things to a drow person who, hands off one of the little trinkets to a child who's with her, and then is carrying the other one, like, maybe for another child at home, and they start to make their way off. You approach and are able to hand off the the report for S. Anything else? Go ahead.
I mean, I would probably just say, like, you wouldn't happen to have anything that, like, specifically, like, do you have any advice for how to treat a headache? I've got a friend. I've been telling him to massage his temples, but yeah, I don't know. It doesn't seem to really work.
That they kind of nod and take the hand, hold their hand out for the report, and they're like, a few stalls down, there's the herbalist. If you know, especially if you know the cause of the headache, they might be able to help you out.
Okay, good.
Okay. Anything to do at Civilization, or do you just want to pop in? You want to do anything there? Just say, like, we're getting drunk.
Well, I kind of just wanted to pass time, but I do want to take a seat near, like, at the bar near Lith, and see if they are telling any other particular stories today.
Okay. Ooh, we get our little jig. The few times that I actually have music set up to play on things, and this is one of them. Like, hey guys,
that's not just creepy children crying in the background.
Children crying in the background. Listen, we love and adore tabletop audio. Is that who? I always get it wrong. Yeah, but for giving us free stuff, music to use. So thanks for the creepy children crying. Yeah, so you come in Civilization, it's 6-7 o'clock now. And it's pretty crowded. There's a big group around the bar. And Lith is back there. Today Lith is talking about he's telling these stories about, like, people who have found like secret passageways through the heart of through the heart of Spire. Can you guys? Sorry, can you mute your mics? I'm so distracted by audio and I'm getting feedback from the song. No.
I think it's Tyler.
I think it's Tyler.
God damn it, Tyler.
Is it me? How do I turn
Yeah.
it down on my end?
Oh, if you go into the settings, little circle at the top right of your Roll20, you should be able to
Got it.
turn your volume.
Master music volume.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I was just like, I have audio things where I'm just like, if there's like that echo, I'm just like, I'm gone, I'm done. So I appreciate it.
Same.
Yeah, so okay, so Lith is telling a story today about like, people who use secret passageways through the heart of Spire. He kind of derails into talking about how these things have been used for like nefarious purposes with like the blood witches and all these kinds of things, as well as like these this kind of other tack that he takes, kind of weaving together these two ways of using these secret passages through the heart of Spire, one for the kind of nefarious blood witches, and then the other being like these heroes of ancient drow culture who were able to use these secret passageways to like successfully like hide important drow artifacts and things, and by ancient I do just mean 200 years ago during the invasion, so I'm sorry I used that word incorrectly. Ancient. I was like, do I mean that? No, I don't. Old drow heroes, right? Some of whom, like, he's getting into the story, and some of whom were never seen again, others rumored to have like transcended and like dissolved into the ether of Spire, and like continue to nourish the reality and unreality that makes this place what it is, and all this. You're just getting a lot of that kind of story. Yeah, these like twin uses of passageways through the heart that have been used for both good and bad since the Elfer invasion of Spire.
Cool. I'm just gonna listen to him and sip on my drink.
Okay. Then let's go back to Amaranth, or to New Heaven, and let's see what. Gosh, there's so many maps now. I have to scroll through so many. I should archive ones that are unlikely to come back. This music stop now. No tavern music. All right. So we are back in New Heaven, and your meeting with Saul and Phineas is kind of wrapping up. Maud stays behind to continue talking about logistics for getting more presence of carrion priests in Grist to deal with the ghouls. But you are kind of.
Do you got a little something for me and Sweet Pea before we head out?
Yes, and I give you like a pat on the arm and a hug, and I give Sweet Pea a pat on the head, and I'm like, that should keep you tided over.
That appreciate that, Minra. I was more talking to the other priests.
Yes. Sorry.
For sustenance.
The Phineas kind of points
The
like down
commissary.
The hall. Yeah, it's like the mess hall is just down the hall. Hands you a little token, like this will get you the good shit. And yeah, you are free to move about New Heaven.
Minra, you want to go check out the mess hall?
We have been on many adventures together. I think that perhaps I will go and observe the goats while I wait for you in the shade outside.
It's a good plan. And can I just like whistle for Sweet Pea?
Yeah. You whistle. A minute later, you hear "pada, pada, pada, pada," and Sweet Pea skids to a halt, kind of.
That's a good girl.
Yeah.
Covered in blood.
Covered in blood, no. Yeah, so Minrai makes her way out front to kind of wait, and as you head back to the kind of mess hall, you see a group of carrion priests coming in from where the main entrance is, they seem to be coming from that direction, and they're hauling like bodies in bags, and they kind of nod to you. And this is one of the many functions that priests who live down Spire do, is they bring bodies back up Spire to kind of feed the hyenas and other things. And so they kind of nod and just continue making their way, hauling bodies and bags down the hall to be cooked or given over to the carrion eaters.
So could I go in and hand in my token and get myself some
of the good shit?
Some good shit for me and for Sweet Pea?
Yeah. And with the token, like, it's kind of like a gets you access to like the top shelf,
Nice.
What Phineas has given you, his little
I'll get that little like cafeteria
Yeah.
tray, like section cafeteria
Yeah.
tray, and I'm just like, I'll take some of this. And
He's given you
you-
his like teacher token, right? Of like in the cafeteria, you
Right.
get like to go
So
into
I'm gonna
there.
get like the bone marrow in one
Yeah.
of my little sections,
like some brain
and
and
then right, some tongue, but like nice fatty.
yes.
yeah.
And with this true feast of whatever you want, you can relieve D8
Woo woo, red feast.
yeah, stress. So go ahead.
Yeah, I can't relieve mind stress, which is the only actual stress that I have.
Okay, so it doesn't help.
But I do have reputation resistance marked off, so I can at
feel
least
free.
do that.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll it, or do you want to? Okay.
Nah, I got it.
Isn't it nice to have a D8 worth of?
This always happens to me, but it's fine. I can take 2 check marks off reputation.
Good. Cool.
So I have 4 empty spaces where I don't have to take so much fuck. Because there was a point where I was at, what was it, 8 stress or 8 or 9 stress and 5 checks off of reputation, and it was just like that.
Yep.
I was fucked.
All right. So you've had your red feast. Anything else you want to do in the temple?
You were talking to me, and I was just like,
who else would have a red feast? I don't know.
I'm so stupid. I'm just like, hey, what else do you want to do in the temple? Oh, that's me. What else do I want to do in the temple? I'm sorry. I'm such a dumbass. I mean, what else is? I don't really have to if people are ready to be done. But what else is there to do in the temple? Could I go? Are there beautiful gardens?
There's shuffleboard everywhere.
You walked past some goats who are definitely playing shuffleboard, but when they see you, they like set down the things and are like,
yeah, they're just like, no, we're not. We're not playing shuffleboard.
There's like, it's all like old people games too. There's cribbage and backgammon.
Hey, what are you saying? You were, I know what you're doing.
I literally just played backgammon with you yesterday.
Commented on my cribbage board. You were like, who plays cribbage?
I did
I'm like,
comment
I do. Come at me.
I like old people games. I played them with my dad. Okay.
Yes.
I'll never forget that cribbage game where I thought I won and then you won at the end.
Oh, that was something. I was in 3rd place the whole game until the last hand, and then I won. Just so you know.
Nice.
It was a beautiful game.
Gotta get those 15s. Anyway, it's been a really long time since I played cribbage.
There are people who are like, what the fuck is cribbage?
It's a fun card game with a regular deck of cards and little pegs and a wooden board. Anyway,
I heard it was an old person game.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
And then we also play some Pinochle and some.
You're just
hearts.
playing games with no.
Is like, please. Do not
No,
get
I'll go.
distracted, friends.
I'll go and like show Minrai, the goats and the gardens and all the different things and the different kinds of goats that are there, unless it's just one kind of goat, which is fine.
No, yeah,
But,
it's really just the one kind of goat that you see up here. That and an invasive species, you would say. There were not always goats in New Heaven, and now there are.
It's like the bin bird, the white ibis. Okay, that just went over. Never mind.
Sorry, don't know.
Where?
Yeah. So
so I would just go around and show her the things. I would try and be like, this is like, I don't know, would I be like, this is where I slept when I trained up here, and this is where I first ate I don't know, just trying to be like
Minrai gets the full
nostalgic,
tour.
reminiscing about my days learning to be a priest.
Okay. And then pop down back out to.
Oh, mahjong, yeah. Played a lot of mahjong, with a lot of the old ladies up there.
This tour is quite interesting, but I do have to worry. What is happening to the rest of our friends?
But if
while
you
we
look
are-
over here, this is where I've.
Yes,
All
very
right,
true.
Minrai. I guess I don't even
But
know when
I
the
will
next
make
sky
you
whale is
promise.
going down.
I will make you promise we can come back later and you can show me again and we can say hello to all the little goat uprisings.
Okay.
Okay.
I think that sounds good. We can head to the
How
sky
many
whale
of the
port.
goats are named Steve?
None. There are no Steves among the
So
goats.
many of
It's
them.
so
In
unusual.
Barnabas's heart, so many of them.
So many of them.
He's like, bye, Steve.
They all
Bye,
have.
Steve.
They all have.
See you, Steve.
They all have name tags. Hello, my name is.
Hello.
None
my
of them
name-
say Steve. All right. Yeah.
Barnabas just writes Steve in blood on them.
You see a stack of like 3 goats go by because they like to stack on top of each other. A stack of 3 goats walks
Steve 1,
by.
Steve 2, Steve 3.
This is why they're unionizing because people keep thinking they can decide their own names for them.
And yeah, so do you want to check out the sky whales? You want to stay here tonight? What's the plan?
Skywell?
I have a feeling. I like look at Minrai and I just can
Skywell?
feel the discomfort oozing, like just emanating off of her, just like, please get me the fuck out of this place. Like Barnabas gets that people are weird about the whole flesh eating thing. And so he's like, oh, let's go check out when the next Skywell leaves.
I had a last Airbender joke to make, but you haven't finished it, Rachel, so I can't
We've got
make
like
that joke.
5 episodes left. I'm very
Ooh.
close. We just watched
Oh,
some today.
Sam, you're muted.
Mute your microphone, Rachel. I want to hear this joke.
That's not how ears work.
No,
Mute
he
your
doesn't.
microphone?
Deafen your
You're right.
microphone.
All right,
Little-
I'm gonna hold
Mute
on.
your
I'll
headphones.
make it quiet.
Okay. All right. She can't hear us. Go, go,
Okay,
go.
okay. So have you guys seen the thing where it's like, when Zuko goes to fight Azula at the very end of Last Airbender, and she's like literally in the middle of a psychotic break, and she has like her bangs cut, and it's like her hair and her makeup is
yeah.
everywhere, and he's like, I can't tell what it is, but something's off about her, right?
Something's off. Yeah.
It's like you can't put your finger on that, can you? Okay.
Yeah. That's definitely
Rachel,
what
come
Minrai
back.
is like, right? She's just like, get me
Yeah,
out.
okay. Thanks for letting us have our little
It was a
Avatar
really good joke.
Last Airbender.
Rachel, you missed out.
Was
Oh
it
my
something
God.
that like the joke was about the end of the show? And I
Yeah.
thought, okay, fair.
It really was. If you had been like,
If it were up to me, you know I would be done with this
I know.
fucking show. You know that.
I know. Okay.
But
okay.
we watch one episode at a time, twice a week, because Eric doesn't do things like that.
Okay. So you're gonna find a sky whale. Yeah. So you go to the docks. There's like a message like posted next to the docks of like just like a handwritten scrawled thing. You've seen this many times before. It seems to be like a daily schedule that just somebody updates, right? Where like someone just is like, I think the next Skywell's coming around this time, smack, right? And just puts it there. And you've never considered where this comes from before, or unless you think Barnabas has. Would Barnabas puzzle over
Nobody
this?
knows where it comes from.
Yeah.
It just appears there.
Where what comes from?
Where this
The-
note telling you when the next bus, by bus I mean
It's a
Skywhale.
rock that with sticky notes on it. No one ever
That's
goes
essentially
to put
what it
sticky notes
is.
on it. They just
That's pretty
appear
much what's
there.
happening. Is there's just always like a new refreshed, and it's always different. Like some
It's
days there's
just-
like no sky whales today, and some days it's like 3, 7, 7:30. Like
Yeah, Steve the goat comes over and puts the sticker on the rock. Everybody knows that.
Conveniently, Deus Ex Machina, the GM has spoken. There's a sky whale.
Oh, you should really just make Minrai stay up here overnight.
Yeah, there's no sky whales today. There is a load going down soon. And you see
Yeah, there is. I'm sorry.
You should be.
Oh my god!
You actually see like
That took me so that took me like
Stupid.
well after you
That was
said
so
I'm
immediate. I
sorry
love
to
it.
figure out why you were apologizing.
Just boom, right there.
not too long after you arrive, like you have to wait a little while, and not too long after you arrive, you hear like some footsteps approaching pretty quickly from behind you, and you turn and you see like a group of carrion priests running to kind of catch up before the sky whale arrives. And as they do, like they kind of, you know, a little catching their breath around, and one of them, a much younger, like most of the ones that you've been interacting with, have all been kind of older, but this is a group of much younger carrion priests, and one in the lead is this kind of young drow woman, and she's like, oh, I'm glad we caught you. Maud and Saul said to try and catch up if we could. So maybe you could show us the ropes in Derelictus a little before Maud comes with the rest of the reinforcements. So we're gonna catch and she looks at the note. She's like, "Oh, it's coming in like 10 minutes. That's great." The next
Sure.
day,
What's your name? I'm Barnabas.
Susan.
Susan, what a
family's names,
young
Susan?
name.
What are your friends' names? Huh? Some
Is it just
crazy
one
names
person, or are there
everywhere.
2 people? You said.
There's a small group. There's probably 5 or 6 of them. You kind of look around.
I said 1 or 2 at least.
There's 5 or 6, Rachel, and they've got a bunch of hyenas with them, and there's definitely a goat standing amongst the hyenas, like trying not to be
pretending,
noticed.
like with like
Oh my god! Please tell me we're gonna take a goat down with us to
That would be
Derelictus, because
so
Barnabas
perfect. We
is
take one
so
goat.
okay with that.
We introduce the invasive species.
Yeah,
Okay,
and no, go ahead.
I'll say it's very nice. It is very nice to meet you. What did you say your name was?
Susan.
Susan.
Susan, yes. What did you do before becoming a carrion priest?
Oh, I was born here.
Oh, really? So your family lives here?
Yeah, I
Yeah, she suckled at the gallbladder of a dead drow.
That is an impressively visceral image. Oh my god, I cannot wait to go home. Not that this place isn't lovely, but god damn.
Oh god, this is the second stream that I've mentioned either suckling or mammary glands. Or it's fine. Everything's fine.
Oh god, okay.
I mean,
Yes,
our children don't even suckle. We're born from eggs. So that's like twice as disturbing. It's not even natural at that point.
No, carrion priests
Well,
are
we
naturally
just-
born. Okay.
well, we just do that because of the it's what the hyenas do, and it's a way of worship.
Yup. That checks out. Gross. But very interesting.
Also,
and
it's actually a really interesting process. They take the like the entire
No,
breast
Susan, let
organ
me
off
stop
of
you
a
right there.
female
Susan,
drow
please,
body.
God. Oh my god.
And they kind of
I'm so glad that Elise went here with me.
Susan. Barnabas, please.
10 minutes of
Well,
this later.
right. I mean, there's these breasts,
God
and
damn it.
there's.
Listen, if I could get down to the Derelictus by throwing myself off of this ledge, I would. But I
So-
cannot. So I need to wait here, and I have just been through quite a lot of gushy body experiences and fleshy blob things.
Midrai,
and I
would you
think
like some hard candy? And I just reach into my
I
pocket
don't
and
think
pull
that
out
I
some like
want to eat-
Werthers.
I don't want to eat anything.
Susan takes one.
For maybe like a couple days.
And you turn around and you look. There is now a second goat stacked on top of the first goat.
Oh, there's another one. Oh god. Well, you know what? I don't think that they will become invasive in Derelictus because there are a lot of hungry people, and y'all only eat people, but we definitely eat goats.
The sky whale
So-
arrives, and you guys pile on. The goats, hearing Minrai say this, hang back a little.
No, come back!
And the sky whale sets sail, and you begin the journey down Spire.
They have sails? I'm sorry.
Wait,
You
wait,
love
you
me,
guys,
Elise.
you guys
You love
begin
me.
the journey on the whale in the sky keeps on turning.
No.
It's very good. Back down to Derelictus, and we'll say you arriving at Derelictus with your new friend Susan and her 4 fellow carrying
And their names are?
priests. You know what? I'll tell you next session because we're done for tonight.
While we're going
Whale,
down,
whale, Elise.
can I make a, you know how I have like the little dolls that I can use to make people act against each other? Can I make a doll of Susan, and can I make a doll of like can I work on making dolls for each of my party members?
Sure.
I want a
Just-
doll. Oh, it's
I-
not that kind of doll.
Well, it could be, but
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Gonna force us to
we'll
talk to
I
say-
don't know
Susan.
how long that'll take. But
Yeah, I'm thinking about how long the journey takes all the way down to Derelictus, and you
make an
can get,
inventory
I'd
of
say,
dolls that I have.
Susan and 3 other dolls made, so you can decide which 3.
Definitely Kelby. So I have Susan, Kelby, and
Faisal?
I see okay. Here's the thing. How useful is a Faisal doll at that point? You know, because like it forces interactions, yes. But like if I force an interaction between like Kelvy and Faisal, he's just gonna get murdered.
You can make other dolls who could interact with
Yeah,
Faisal.
that's true. I'm gonna make a Marguerite. No, oh, maybe I could make what's her face. Have I seen what's her face? The other high elf?
Lady
Good
Hellion?
old what's her face?
Yeah.
No, I don't. Well, no, because
Okay.
only Rick went to the fighting
Yeah,
arena.
the
I mean,
Amadu.
Minrai, you did go there, but it was not during a fight, and so Lady Hellion wasn't there. However, you could probably, if you wanted to make that doll, you could work with Hennis to make it, I think. So
Okay. So then I'll make a Marguerite doll just for now.
Okay.
I think, you know, this is just kind of like a backup. Like if there's ever a moment where I need like an interaction to happen.
okay, cool. All right, I think we're calling it there. Is there any other like last minute, 1 minute things people need to do before we get off stream? Okay.
Just want everyone to imagine Minrai opening her coat to like a shit ton of like dolls of just people that she's met.
It's wonderful. Okay. Thank you all for hanging in there.
You're like
through...
American Girl dolls. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. My brain just works slowly.
Through a roller coaster of a session, between a lot of heavy feels, a lot of shocking imagery, and also some good goat humor. Appreciate you and all you do. I had a lot of fun. It was nice to laugh with friends after a long and stressful day and week, so thank you for that. And we will sign off here. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Is there Game of Fates of Rin tomorrow?
Yes.
Game of Fates of Rin? Yes.
A session. Fates of Rin tomorrow is 7, I think. Yeah. Exclamation point Discord if you want to hang out with us in the Discord, and exclamation point BLM, exclamation point donate for some good social justice oriented stuff. And I don't remember my shortcuts. Galway was like, here are some great shortcuts because they logically make a lot of sense. And I was like, and I need to look at them every single time I use them. I'm like, I will never memorize these. So anyway, yes, I'm going to go ahead and take us out now, and good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.